Brian Burke, the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, is with us. We're going to give you a one-night reprieve about talking about your hockey team, because also with us tonight is Brendan Burke, Brian's son, who joins us live from Boston. Brendan's a former hockey player. He's currently a student manager with the Miami University hockey team, the #1 ranked team in the NCAA. 2 years ago, Brendan went to his family and told them for the first time that he is gay. Brendan, I want to take you back to that night. You told your father last, after everybody else in your family. Why'd you do that? How difficult was it?
Honestly, I mean, the timing was not really planned. I knew that I wanted to come out at Christmas of that year, and we just happened that we saw our dad. We went and visited him on the West Coast. He was working for Anaheim then, so we just happened to see him later than I saw the rest of my family. So it wasn't planned. I was all right telling him. It was nerve-wracking, like it is anytime you tell a family member, but I knew my dad would support me, just like I knew the rest of my family was going to support me, and it meant a lot. But no, the timing wasn't planned. It just happened. That's when I saw him.
Were you surprised?
It was important to me that no, I wasn't.
So, yeah, no problem. I was just going to ask your father if he was surprised.
I was surprised, but you know, Brendan's a wonderful kid. He's been a joy since the day he came home from the hospital, and I support him. I'm very proud of him.
What did you say to him that night?
Well, I said it won't change anything, Brendan. You know, it doesn't change our view of we love you, we're proud of you, and it doesn't change anything in my mind, and it never will.
And Brendan, what did that mean to you, hearing that from your father?
It meant a lot. He supported me with everything I've done in the past, and I knew he would support me on this too, and it really meant a lot. My whole family has been there for me and been behind me 100%, and my dad has been really supportive of doing this article and talking about this publicly, and he's been unbelievable. It's been amazing.
Now, telling your father, telling your family is one thing. Telling your hockey team sometimes is quite another. How did the coaches and the players react at Miami University?
Everyone was unbelievable there. I can't say enough good things about Miami University and the hockey team there. They knew me for a couple years before I came out, so I think for most of the players, I was still Burkie. I was still the same person. This just added a new dimension to it, and they weren't going to judge me on that because they knew me as a person and knew my character. But it's really not surprising to me. Coach Blasey, when he's recruiting people, he doesn't just recruit top hockey players. He recruits good character people, and that's very high on his list. And he does emphasize character and building a brotherhood, and I really don't think it's surprising that they've embraced me and been as good as they are. The players have been unbelievable. I've gotten a lot of emails and calls and texts about this article, and everyone's been really supportive.
So you tell your family, then about a year later you tell the players, and now you tell the rest of us through that ESPN story yesterday. Why did you decide to take this public?
It started with a USA Today article I saw a couple weeks ago, written by Justin Bourne, a former minor league hockey player, and he talked about how homophobic slurs in hockey need to end, and I really appreciated that. So I emailed him and thanked him, and it just kind of snowballed from there, and it ended up with John Butchergross offering to do a piece on it. So I think it's important because I've been supported so strongly by my family and by Miami's hockey team. And I think it's important that my story is told to people, because there are a lot of gay athletes out there and gay people working in pro sports that deserve to know that there are safe environments where people are supportive of you regardless of your sexual orientation.
Now, Brian, you've been concerned, though, about your son being a trailblazer.
Well, I think that I'm very proud of Brendan. If I had to pick, I would have picked him to go second, let someone else go first. It's not the message that he has, which is a wonderful one, but pioneers are often misunderstood, and I would have rather, you don't wish this on your son. You wish that someone else carries that burden first, and then he can grab and help. But this is what he wanted to do, and we support him. Brendan,
is your goal to eventually have a career in professional hockey?
I'm not sure. I'm applying to law schools for next year, so I'm leaving my options open, and we'll see what's available to me in the future.
But it is an interest, correct?
Definitely. I love working for Miami's team. I love the work I'm doing there. So it'd definitely be something I'd be interested in the future.
Okay, so Brian, whether it's Brendan or somebody else a couple of years earlier than that, is professional hockey ready for an openly gay, whatever it be, scout, executive, manager, player?
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs are. I can't speak for other teams, but I would have to guess there are other teams that share my view of this, which is I judge people on their talent and the merit that they bring to the position, not their lifestyle, not their choices, and they're certainly welcome in our organization, and I have to guess that we're not alone.
Brendan, has this experience taught you that perhaps the sports world is not as homophobic as we may have assumed?
Definitely, I think so, with the way that my dad and a bunch of other hockey people have contacted me and supported me, and especially the way that Miami has too. I mean, things like gay slurs, I think once players realize that there could be a gay person next to them or that there are gay people around them, they stop using it. It's not that they're homophobic. They just aren't thinking about what the consequences might be for a gay person next to them. So if my experience at Miami is any indication of what we can have other places, I think it's definitely going to improve.
We only have a few seconds, Brian. Describe your son to a world meeting him for the first time tonight.
Well, he's obviously courageous. I mean, it takes a lot of jam to take this step. He's obviously a fearless kid, but he's a real bright kid and a sweet kid, and I'm very proud of him.
Courage and character, a couple of things you always look for in your players. You have it in your son. Brendan, we really appreciate you sharing your story with us tonight.
Thank you, James.